Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear
Hey,
you.
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You confused me now. You see, I see the initials at there, M. Nelson, and I have got you down as Kelly.
No,
No, no, what we do? What is your? I've got one Nelson. What is your? What? Have you got another name?
no, it's Natalie Nelson.
Natalie Nelson.
Yes.
Well, Natalie, I don't. Whose class are you in, Natalie?
Um, I thought I was in Dr. Crawford's, but then I had received your email, so I was just trying to find out what was going on.
Okay, okay. Well, now, okay. This was my mistake. Then that's why I kept looking, and these are for the 603 students.
Okay.
It was sent to you by mistake. That's why I do have a Nelson, and I said that's why I was pausing and I was looking. I said
Yeah.
something's not right. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
when I went through, it was by mistake that I clicked your name. Then
Okay. All
so
right.
I apologize. Well, while we're talking, how are things going?
I'm going well. Because I'm in 601, so
Right.
I am working on task 2. Just got all of my walkthroughs done, and also got some really good responses from my survey.
Well,
So I'm
great.
really excited about that.
Great. Well, your work, you've done good work anyway. So you're pacing yourself well, and you're keeping up like you're supposed to.
Okay, good.
The
I
fact that
am.
the fact that you just came online tonight tells me that you're paying attention to things. So even at my era. So, but anyway,
All
do
right.
you have any questions while we are online?
I think I'm good. One of the big things was I had just been concerned because you had talked about emailing people about the OMA, the OMA,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't sure what that was, but if it was for the
Okay.
next class,
Yeah,
then
that's for the next class, and so I apologize.
that's not a
What
problem.
happened? Your name was next to the other person, so I've got
Mhm.
to reach out to the other person because apparently they didn't get the message. So, but now you will get the OMA, but it will be after we get through with the AppTel. We will go ahead and
Okay.
introduce you to that
Okay.
for the summer, but
Okay.
the person in question owes me something. That's why that got message went out. So she doesn't know that I am reaching out to her. So thank you. At least I know that I made an error and I've got to fix it.
Well, thank you for all of your help. The
Okay.
Zoom meetings are going great.
Did things go? I mean, after Tuesday night, was it under? You understood a lot of it to begin with.
Yeah, and I think after Tuesday night also, I think it was just kind of laid out, and so I think all the guesswork was gone.
Okay,
It
good.
just kind of started clicking into place, I think, a little better.
Good. And it takes time with this.
Mhm.
Most people are out of their element. They hear about it, but
Mhm.
that's all you do. You hear about it.
Yeah.
So, actually doing it. But I,
Mhm.
I'm glad I'm getting some good work from students after Tuesday. So I feel like that it it validated some things with some people. I think
Mhm.
people knew what to do or thought they knew what to do. They were just scared to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so too.
But anyway, well, reach out to me if you need to. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Stedman?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I am well. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can. Yep.
How can I help?
I'm doing well.
Have you got my OMA ready? Have you got the OMA ready?
I'm working on it, and I'm editing.
How far are you?
I'm editing.
Okay, so you're editing?
Yes, sir. I have 22 more pages to edit, and then I'm done.
Okay, good. Because we need to get that. We need to get you cleared with that, so I can make sure that you're where you need to be by the end of this semester.
Yes, sir. And I started to skip actually because I was feeling a little stressed with being behind. So okay, I started working on that.
Well, I'm glad.
Surveying my colleagues, and my PLC has started for that and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you got stressed in and did that. That makes me feel better. How can I help you?
Yeah. Well, I actually just came to. Okay. I actually just came on to kind of let you know that I was working on the OMA and it should be done tonight. And that was kind of it.
Well, good.
I just figured if you were talking about this people, then I might get something that I didn't know to ask, maybe.
Yeah, well, I doubt many people's gonna come on, but that if for nothing else, for you to tell me that makes me feel better because I was worried.
Good.
So good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm excited. I am. What else am I doing? I took the praxis for South Carolina. I am doing an internship at an elementary school tomorrow. Tomorrow's my first day.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to do another day in May, and then I have a 2-week internship set up in June for when school lets out at an elementary school.
So you've already taken the praxis?
Yes, sir.
The South for school administration?
Yes, sir. Wow. I took it March the 4th.
Okay, so tell me, that's kind of, I mean, that it's okay, but that's kind of, that's a little bit fast but I mean, you can take it anytime. How did you feel about it?
I feel pretty good about it. I felt like the questions a lot of them were scenario based, so they were more like case studies, but with a multiple choice answer, if that makes sense. Right. So I felt comfortable with what I answered and how I responded and stuff like that. A lot of it related to the things that we're doing. Some of it related to things that we were, for this class, we interviewed administrators, about budgeting and fundraising and this. And so I've done all of my interviews. So I felt good about, my knowledge base, if that makes sense.
Well, good.
Some of the laws were on there, but I feel like I've been reading the principal school law, our textbook. So that's pretty good. So I felt really good about it. The only thing I would say I did feel good about is ETS as a whole. So it's a multiple choice test, but when I finished, they gave me a raw score. And I'm like, well, okay. And then they don't give you your actual score until the testing window closes. And so I said, that seems a little strange. Like if it's a multiple choice test, you should know when I finish what my score is. Does that make sense?
Well, with the raw score, what did that tell you? I mean, the raw score.
It didn't tell me anything. I mean, they just say this is your raw score, but it didn't say this is your percentage. These are your number, right or wrong. Like they didn't explain the raw score. They just said this is your raw score.
So there was no rubric or anything to explain what that raw score meant. Okay.
Exactly. There's no rubric, there's no explanation, there's no clarification, nothing. And I called because I was like, well, hey, I thought the scores would come out by now and stuff like that. And they said, well, no, your test is ongoing or continuous. So on the Friday after the close date for that testing window.
Okay. Okay, I lost you.
Hey, Dr. Stedman.
Hey, Lynette.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. It left you, it just froze you for a while there, and you had your hands up in the air.
All right.
It looked like you were in church worshiping.
All right. Is he back?
Anyway, I don't see your picture,
Hey,
but that's
Dr.
okay.
Stedman, sorry about that.
I see your nose.
All right.
That's okay. Well, there you go again. No, there. Go ahead. I just want to make sure that we had finished talking.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I can see you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, you froze up too, and then I could see the button, but I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, I don't know if you're there or not there, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then all of a sudden it just died.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so you're just waiting to hear back from the practice.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Well, that's you're the first one that I've talked to that has.
Yes, I'm just waiting to hear back from the practice.
Okay. Well, let me know how it goes then when you hear something. And,
okay.
I mean, we're going to be very optimistic that it happens the first time. But worst case scenario, you just go back and take it again. If it comes right down to it, I mean, we hope that's not the case. But I mean, it is what it is sometimes. So anyway, well, I'm here if you need me, and I will look to see your completed OMA real soon. Yeah, maybe tonight.
Yes, real soon.
Tomorrow.
Real soon.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing that and letting me know.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Stedman. I appreciate your help.
Okay, you're welcome, Lynette. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Okay.
Man, it's the Philippines.
Okay. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, Dr. Simmons.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me take the devil. I'm going to cut this off. That part of it, I mean, just use it as a learning experience, and know that even when you become an administrator, there's going to be times that you may not quite understand why an authority figure is doing what they're doing, but you have to you take the high road and you do what you need to do. So,
and I do appreciate that.
So, I wouldn't have camped out there, but like I said, you've got different people that look at things differently. So,
yes, anyway. I understand.
But it was great work, and I wouldn't have told you to. I wouldn't have told you to have sent it on in if I had thought that there were any issues with it. But that's neither here nor there now. So.
Right. I appreciate that. And I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is about Task Stream. And because I want to work on that this weekend. Mm-hmm. Do we use that same narrative paragraph and then attach whatever evidence that goes with that narrative?
You're talking about for the folio, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And now remember, all you can do is put it in storage right now. You can put it, you can't submit it but you know that. So, yes. But it's okay. But what you would do is just go in there and you send it to me as a reviewer.
Okay.
I think as a reviewer, I think you just put it in there and you send it for me to say, yes, this is good. And what I do is usually I'll say excellent. Spring 2019, and that just lets me know that it's been cleared, and you've got to have 3 of those for each of those, a minimum of 3 of those before the program's over with, and one of them has to be open-ended. So that's all that is. But that is actually basically a bank for you to store them and go ahead and not have to do them all at the last minute.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure about that. And my second question
let me tell you this. When you do them, put them all in there that you're going to do. How many are you planning to do this weekend?
Well, I usually just sit with it, and however many I can wrap my head around.
Okay. I would ask you to, when you let's just say, for instance, if you decide, well, I can do 9 of them this weekend, and that's wait and send all 9 of them to me at one time. Put them as one thing instead of sending them individually, because what will happen, it comes to me as a message, and I have to go in and out every time that message. But this will save me time if you just send them all to me at one time.
Absolutely, I can do that. Okay. The second question was about the CAP.
Okay.
Now, I saw in the instructions for North Carolina, the teachers are using their teacher working conditions survey.
Right.
In South Carolina, well, I went ahead and looked at the advanced ed survey that I had. Mm-hmm. And it did not have some of the things that I think North Carolina teachers will find in their teaching working conditions survey.
Okay. So let me pull that up. Let me come down. Go ahead and talk while I'm finding that.
Okay, so yeah, and so I wanted to clarify that.
You're talking about the 5 areas, right?
Right.
The 5 areas. What you will do, Sherry, is, okay, there they are. Empowerment, leadership, facilities, resources, and time. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in the advanced ed, there is something that should, if it doesn't say empowerment, it should relate to empowerment.
Okay.
Or if it doesn't say leadership, it should relate to leadership. So what you have to do is to take these 5 areas and go back and find what most relates to what it's asking for here.
Okay.
And it's in there because I know that it's there because of so many previous students that have used it to,
Okay.
to do that. Also, if you've got anything else that
Okay.
South Carolina uses, it's okay to use that as well, as long as it's used by South Carolina.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other things that South Carolina is using that you would think off the top of your head that would?
There's one survey that I recall taking. I'll just have to ask my administrator what it's called and where can I find it. Yeah.
Now I know that South Carolina has revamped with Elliott. They've got that all that stuff is built in there. Is there anything in that built in that system that would have any information that you could use?
Just now that you said what you said about looking at what most relates, there are some questions in the advanced ed survey that are related to these things. Yeah. They're just not specific.
And that's what you've got to do. And you just simply say that in your narrative work. While South Carolina does not use the teacher working conditions survey, the instrument that they use that is similar is the advanced ed, and then just pull it together that way narratively.
Okay.
Call it the same headings, empowerment, but then you talk about it based on what you pull from that report.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, I'll attempt to look at this data and stuff and see what I can do. And if I run into a question, I'll email you.
Yeah, I'll respond back. You know that, and it's okay to call me too, Sherry, if you need to.
Okay.
Sometimes it's easier to say, if I ask him, it's much easier for me to tell you than to try to figure out how I can write it all out. So sometimes I'd rather a student call me if it's something that I can just give them a quick answer to.
Okay. Well, I'll get started and hopefully it'll be a smooth process. But I wanted to ask you too. So once I'm done with the Cap 1, do I just wait until next?
Keep on. Okay. Keep on. Get as much done as you can, Sherry.
Okay.
You'll have a lot to do this summer, and so you can get as much done. The summer is going to be pretty intense.
Okay.
And so I would advise you to I've got several students that are their goal is to complete the CAP before the semester's over.
Okay.
So it's okay if you get that far, and then that way you'll just have to skip and your classwork. There's a lot of classwork this summer, a lot of just very relevant things that you have to do.
Okay.
So this would help you tremendously because you've only got 5 weeks before all of the evidence work has to be completed and submitted.
Right.
So I would advise you to get it all done if you can. And at the rate you're going, I think you will.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time and I appreciate the help. And I'm going to get started.
Okay. Well, call me if you need me, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Sherry.